Okay, so math is cool, numbers are cool. This is the number 8. It's a very cool number, out of all of the. Oh, that's the wrong thing that I am selecting. There we go. So, number 8, pretty cool number. Out of all of them, you can choose that one or any of these other ones, right? There's variations on that kind of stuff that you can do, but that's getting into tiny numbers as far as things go after a big number. But number 8, why is that relevant? Because the setting that I have for my story is in the future. It's very far in the future, and it's not in the year 8 of some fancy year calendar or anything like that. No, we're staying to the AD Adus Domini or whatever the term was, and then we're adding an exclamation mark in there. So, not just an exclamation mark. What does an exclamation mark even mean, though? It means that you add every single number before that. So if I wanted to do 7 exclamation mark, which would be, like that number, 5040, you ended up getting it by going 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 6 times 7 for the wrap up to get to that 5040, right? So the year of this story, it's not the year 8 of some arbitrary year. It's not the year 8 AD either, because that would be in the past, and we're not doing time travel, right? So, exclamation mark, you end up having the equivalent of all of that 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 6 times 7, and then referencing a previous result that we had, 540, which was accurate, twice checked, times 8. Wonderful. But the year 4032 is not the year that I am talking about. No, I am talking about the year where you take 8 and then you factorial it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. 8 exclamation marks following an 8. And that ends up getting you a very, very, very big number. You might be seeing some foreshadowing happening. You're like, oh, wait, we're talking about numbers. And I see some big numbers going on there. That is a big number right there. You want to know something? That's not even the half of it. That is not literally even the half of this big number. This big number right here is scrolling up. Right? That was just a chunk of zeros down at the bottom, because you have a whole bunch of 5 times 5s times a 0 or 10 over and over and over again. So you end up getting a lot of zeros, but that was not even the half of that big number. And you want to know something even crazier? When it comes to factorials, their probabilities and stuff like that, this is just the number of different ways that you can combine 40,320 different things. This big of a number that you're not even able to see half of it, the half of the number of how big that probability is. That number, this right here, that literally is not even the half of how far in the future this story is. See, this is just 8 factorial. This is 40,320 factorial. This is the different variations of all of that, cross-referencing each other. The different things that your AI is referencing, for just a 40,000 prompt situation as it randomly chooses that answer, that number, that chunk of number, that chunk of number. I like that chunk of number from this page. Not even the half of it, though. And you do that on instinct. Anyways, so super far in the future. This, I'm not even going to be able to show the full number because I don't know how much data that would take. That's going to get really big really quick, and I'm not going to bother asking for somebody for that big of a number. It's a big number. It's out there. Not even infinity, though. It's just a big number, and it's out there. And that's where the story, this sci-fi setting of humanity successfully expanding past the edges of to the edges of the universe. There is an edge to the universe. To the edges of the universe. And then they get there. And then they're just like, dang, still no aliens. It's just us. Imagine spending all of those years having all of that history of humanity recorded and confirmed, since now we have records and confirmation. You can past reference that, 7 factorial was 5,040, so easy, I just need to times that by 8. Okay, so to get to the next step of this not even half of it number, we multiply this very big number by the next very big number of 8 factorial 1. And then further. Where am I going with this? Not having any aliens. That'd be crazy. Spending all that time having all of that structure and answers. Totally confirmed, totally answered. Everything's done. So now it's just cloud farming and everything like that. And I'm not to get into like any ennui of just like, boredom. What is there to do now? Because we're not at that point. We have problems that need to be solved here, now, in the nowadays. Not simple ones like 8 factorial, factorial, factorial. No, we've got serious problems like why are we celebrating 250 years of not feeding everybody for free? Not telling people that if you don't have anything to do, you should be heading over here. We will take any able-bodied hands. I don't know. Anyways, that's me deviating and everything like that. I wanted to talk to you about a very big concept of that, all just to say it's very compressed to a concept. It's the setting for this story. Look at that. A very big concept, all compressed down into it's the setting for the story. And it does have a point. That compression does have a point. Because it was needed. You were getting bogged down in a swamp. Have a good one out there. Take care. Stay safe. Good luck. Have fun. And tomorrow is 4th of July. That should be fun.